I've put everybody here in order that they appear in the intro. We have the usuals, obviously, Germán, Violetta, Tomás, Leon, Diego, Ludmila, one of the top contenders, Fran, Cami, Maxi, Nati, Broadway. I'm sorry to everybody from the gang who wasn't included, but there's just no room, and you are not as important. We got most of the adults: Angie, Jade, Matias, Priscilla, Olga, Ramasho, Gregorio, Esmeralda. I could not find a picture of Esmeralda that would work, so Esmeralda just has to be faceless. She's being anonymous. And who do we have here at last place? Roxy! And if you're wondering, if Roxy is here, then how come Vilu is also here? Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. She's the multitasking queen. So let's see what happens, because I think it's gonna be a very interesting season, because we have some very, very, very strong queens on our hands. I'm telling you, they're lip sync assassins. Basically all of them. They're all good at acting, comedy, improv, dancing. I've given them stats based on what their characters on the show are good at. So we have some very well-rounded queens, except that everybody pretty much sucks at sewing. My biases, like always, are going to lie with Jade, Matias, Olga, and Gregorio, and Ludmila. And of course you have Diego, who of course is going to be the trade of the season. I want the season to be long. Let's do a double premiere, no elimination. I will choose who returns. We're going to otherwise have a regular format. And let's do a top 3. Yeah. Let's go. Let's pick who'll be in the first premiere. I'm thinking of separating them like Studio, Casa Castillo. This is our first day premiere cast. Let's go. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do a photo shoot about a celebrity, and Germán won the first mini challenge, and he will be also getting a small advantage for the maxi. And for our first maxi challenge, the queens will record vocals and perform in a girl group number for the original song, I'm in Love. Matias, Jade, and Olga slayed the challenge. Obviously, Jade and Olga would slay this challenge. Obviously.
Ramallo querido, no se resista mi amor, solamente le pido que me quiera por favor.
And Ramasho had a bad performance. Well, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, Ramashito. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but don't worry, no one's going home today.
Olga, yo lo siento, escuche bien lo que le digo. Usted quiere ser mi novia, yo solo quiero ser su amigo.
And for the runway, and would you look at that? Who slayed the runway? Of course. Was there ever any doubt? Look at her like serving and slaying in the photo. I'm sorry, Esmeralda, that I couldn't find a photo for you, but Angie and Olga had a bad runway. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Jade and Matias, congratulations, you're the top 2 of the week. And also, the top 2 best characters of the show, of course. Matias slayed and Jade only did good. You cannot tell me that Matias would do better than Jade in a lip sync, especially if it's giving like girly pop. If it's giving like cunty. You cannot tell me that. And Matias is the winner of this challenge. Again, I don't see how he would have beaten Jade in that lip sync, but maybe she's using some of that weaponized incompetence again. She noticed that she's becoming too much of a target right off the bat, so she did worse on the lip sync by choice.
Ay, gracias, hermanita, gracias porque me salvaste la vida.
Es la última vez, Matías. La próxima vez te vas a tener que defender solito.
Oh, Angie and Ramasho were low. How interesting to have Jade in the top 2 and Angie in the bottom 2. How fitting. Very, very fitting.
Quiero brindar por eso.
But now let's see how Group 2 performs. And for this week's mini challenge, we actually have 2 winners, Broadway and Camila, which sounds so romantic. And for this week's maxi challenge, the queens will perform in a girl group number for the original song, Queens Down Under. I guess in this case, Down Under refers to Argentina and not Australia. Francesca, Maxi, Ludmila, and Diego had a great performance, even though technically Fran and Maxi did better than Diego and Ludmila. I so hope they're the top 2. Cami actually had a bad performance, and I think that's very on brand for her because she is amazing at singing and dancing, but she always gets in her head, so she must have, again, overworked herself and flopped because of exhaustion at the end.
Esto es una competencia y evidentemente yo todavía no estoy a la altura.
No, bueno, ¿cómo es eso? Es una forma de decirlo.
Para tanto.
But who actually flopped, surprisingly, is Tomas, Leon, and Nati. I don't know what happened here because both Leon and Nati have pretty high dance and lip sync stats, and Tomas also has high lip sync stats. Of course, he doesn't have high dance stats, but I thought the lip sync stats would work in his favor, but no. I guess you never know. And for the runway, the category is gay icons. And the bottom three have completely redeemed themselves. So it's anybody's game at this point. This gives me hope that the top two will be Diego and Ludmi. And Fran, Cami, and Broadway had a bad runway. This is overall a very bad week for Cami. Francesca, Diego, congratulations, you're the top two of the week. With the added drama of them two being in a relationship, that would be so juicy. Fran slayed, and Diego also had a good lip sync. So, Francesca, you're a winner, baby! And Diego, you will forever be the trade of the season, but for now you're safe. Cami was safe though, even though she flopped everything, she was still safe, and now it's finally time for everybody to meet. OMG, OMG, OMG. Vilu and Roxy both won the mini challenge together. And for the maxi challenge, we have yet another dance challenge. This one will be about Ru's biography. Fran, Olga, Broadway, and Ludmi slayed the challenge. Will Fran be in the top 2 weeks in a row? And also, can Ludmi get her way in the top 2? And the only people that did bad are Priscilla and Esmeralda. It's also dramatic and fitting that they're against each other. And for the runway, the theme is nighttime is the right time, and Vilu and Matias slayed. Cami, Gregorio, Angie, and Tomas had a bad runway. I don't believe this. Gregorio actually has a pretty decent runway stats. Okay, Gregorio is that bitch. You cannot gaslight me that Gregorio did pretty much on the same level as Angie on the runway. I think it's just a matter of tastes that you just didn't appreciate his rendition of nighttime is the right time. Olga, Ludmila, Camila, Esmeralda, Ramasho, Francesca, Nati, Broadway, Priscilla. Ladies, you represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Everybody else is safe. Broadway, congratulations, you're the winner of today's challenge. Olga, Ludmi, Fran, Cami, great job this week. You are all safe. Priscilla, Nati, Esmeralda, Ramasho. I was pretty disappointed in you ladies. Nati, Ramasho. You are safe this week. Which means Priscilla, Esmeralda, you are the bottom queens. It's so iconic that Priscilla and Esmeralda are going to be going head to head in the lip sync. Oh, both of them flopped the lip sync. Are we gonna get a double sachet? Meh. Esmeralda. Shantae, you stay. Priscilla, queen of mean. Sachet away. Diego says that Tomas is being favored by the judges. Matias, Olga, and Leon performed a karaoke number of a RuPaul song to pass the time. How wholesome. Roxy, Esmeralda, Jade, and Gregorio are talking loud, and you understand that they're in this together. Jade and Gregorio working together! Do it for me. You can do with or without Roxy or Esmeralda, to be honest, but you two need to form an alliance, please. Ludmi, Cami, and Diego are saying that Ramasho should go home. Wait a minute. Is Diego the drama? Is Diego the drama? Oh, I love that. Leon wants to hook up with Maxi. Leon wants to hook up with Maxi. Leon wants to hook up with Maxi.
Mas é sério. Acho que eu tô sobrando.
Não fica triste, Maxi.
Tommaso was drinking while watching Leon and Matias argue over a placement they didn't agree. Fran is the total frontrunner. She is killing it. And episode 4 apparently does not have a mini challenge. Okay. And for the maxi challenge, the queens will do outfits with bags. Oh, Broadway had a bad performance as well as Ramasho. That's terrible. Broadway, you were just in the top last week. You can't fall from grace like that. And Leon flopped. He was the Lalari of the bag ball, apparently. And with that terrible track record of his, Roxy, Ludmila, you two did so well this week. Fuck it, let's have 2 winners. You are both the winners, baby. Congratulations. Gregorio, Fran, you are safe. The rest of you ladies did disappoint me this week. Broadway, you were in the top last week. I know you can do better. You are safe. Nati, low safe, won't cut it next week. But now you're safe. Leon, Ramasho. I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Okay. Leon pretended to be tipped by the audience. He's like collecting tips from the audience. We love that. Leon slayed the lip sync. Of course he would. I knew you could do it, Leon. And Ramasho had a bad lip sync. I kind of see that. I see that. Okay. Leon, Shantae, you stay. Ramasho, my dear, I am so sorry. But your journey ends here. Sashay away. This is going to be so terrible for Olga. Like, Ludmilla didn't care much about her mom leaving, but this is going to be terrible for Olga. Yeah, see, Olga is now coping from losing Ramasho, so she tells Nati to paint hair to cover her manly features. And Nati tells her to do the same. She's gonna clap back. She's gonna just take the heat. No, she's gonna clap back. But Olga's clearly just projecting here because her mochito has left.
Pobrecita, qué pobrecita, están mostrando su verdadera cara debajo de ese disfraz. Esa mujer que se...
Angie and Matthias are yelling at Herman. Angie and Herman, I've said them to have a good relationship. And she has a bad relationship with Matthias. And Herman does too. So the fact that they are ignoring this and they're both just yelling at Herman, oh, I love that so much.
Es realmente lo mejor que pude haber hecho por tu hermana, de verdad.
Mira, si yo fuera otro tipo de persona, en este momento te tendría que estar obligando a que cumplas tu palabra. Mira, yo lo único que quiero es ayudar. Si ustedes se van a poner hostiles, yo mejor me voy, hago mis cosas.
Sos muy injusto.
Injusto, yo soy injusto. Tenemos una vida tranquila. Hasta que apareciste vos para revolucionarla, para romper la tranquilidad y por puro egoísmo. Nada más que por egoísmo. No me hables a mí de injusticias, ¿eh?
¿Se terminó?
Se terminó cuando apareciste vos, Angie. Ahí se terminó.
Tomás hides in a pillow fort like Brooklyn Heights, during Vilu and Kami's fight. Ooh, Vilu and Kami are having a fight. Maybe Vilu is feeling threatened that Roxy just won, and she didn't, even though she is Roxy. People are liking her more as Roxy. Jade shared a heartfelt moment about her family to Francesca.
Por favor, se me suspendió el viaje. Tuve que cancelar mi compromiso. Tengo un padre prófugo. Un fantasma que me persigue noche y día y un hermano que es un inútil que no sirve para nada.
Jade tells Kami to get ready to lip sync because she did bad this week. Leon and Tomás think that they're being overlooked. Tom, don't start it.
Perfecto. No sé, para mí está bien, pero creo que tendrías que ser más suave todavía, ¿sabes?
Sí.
La parte del giro, cuando giras, tiene que ser algo más, ¿sabes? No tan brusco, tal vez un poco más de ojos y de...
Y me van a seguir negando que Violeta quiere tener a todos sus pies.
Thus far, only the first premiere is losing queens. Come on, you guys, you can't let the studio group beat you like that. And for this week's mini challenge, Matthias won! He will also get a small advantage for the maxi challenge. And for this week's maxi challenge, the queens will improvise in a drag queen spoof of the celebrity gossip and drama television show. Olga slayed the challenge, obviously, and she's doing it for Ramasho. Matthias also did great, so don't sleep on Matthias. But apparently, like, everybody and their mama did great. And Fran did bad! What is this curse of the winner? Being in the top and then being in the bottom. It happened with Brooklyn, now it's happening with Fran. I thought she was being touchable. On the runway, Matthias slayed severely. He slayed severely. Olga's runway is not as impressive as Matthias's, so let's see will that matter. The only people that did bad on the runway are Tomás, Maxi, Broadway, and Kami. Ladies, when I call your name, please step forward. Gregorio, Roxy, Olga, Matthias, Herman, Nati, Esmeralda, Francesca. Ladies, you represent the tops and bottoms of the week. And I am looking at you when I'm saying bottoms, Herman. Definitely looking at you. And I do mean that as a double entendre. Oh yeah, I do. I'm just bluffing, Herman. You did great. You did great this week. And Esmeralda as well. You have truly redeemed yourself. But of course, this week was for Olga and Matthias to shine. Olga doing it all for Ramasho after the heartbreak from his elimination. And Matthias being overall perfect. But is he being maybe too perfect thus far in the competition and not showing us enough vulnerability? Olga, congratulations, you're the winner of this week's challenge. Francesca, Natalia, Roxy, Gregorio. I am very disappointed to see three of you here. For one of you, I am not that surprised. You keep promising me that you will do better, Nati, but I will give you one last chance. Nati, you are safe. Gregorio, you are also safe. Roxy and Fran are the front runners, so this is gonna be everything, especially because Roxy and Fran are also friends because Fran knows that Roxy is Vilu. Oh no! Fran doesn't know the words! How can she not know the words? But also Roxy had a bad lip sync. I mean, Fran totally flopped, but Roxy had a bad lip sync, and Fran is the #1 top frontrunner. So, it's anybody's game, maybe, maybe not. Roxy. Not to be confused with Roxy Andrews, thick and juicy. Shantae, you stay. Francesca, I am so disappointed to see you fall from grace like that. sashay away. Oh, you just know this was production riggery in some way, shape, or form, because they saw Francesca do well, and they probably didn't predict her to be doing that well, so the second she slipped, she doesn't get a second chance. Oh no, she's thrown out. Leon squares up with Broadway.
Muy bien, muy bien lo que están haciendo, felicidades, muy bien. Muy bien.
Sí.
Broadway, la verdad es que es un buen aporte al estudio.
Gracias.
Va a estar bien trabajar juntos.
Sí.
Herman ripped Nati's tights? What are you doing? Why is this man so gross? Why would you do that? I know it's supposed to be like a shady thing, but like, this feels oddly sexual, especially coming from Herman. How could you do this, Herman? How could you do this? Jade says that she has had it officially with Olga.
Hola, ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué no preparó las camas?
No tuve tiempo.
Olga, ¿el almuerzo está preparado?
Pero no ve que estoy muy ocupada.
Pero por favor, ¿ocupada en qué? ¿Buscando candidatos por internet?
¿Qué se puede?
Pero ubíquese, querida.
She's probably bitter that her brother didn't win against Olga just because Olga showed vulnerability and Matthias didn't. So the girls are going at it. And our front runner is the third out. That is insane. Look at this track record. Win high, eliminated. Vito's actually doing better than Roxy now. Our new front runner is Olga. Way to go, Olga. And for this week's mini challenge, Diego won. And for this week's maxi challenge, the queens will act in an 80s inspired film named Show Squirrels. Angie, Olga, Roxy, and Matthias slayed the challenge. Everybody else did either great or good, but that is not putting any one of you at ease tonight, ladies. And for the runway, we have a lot of slayage coming from Matthias. Herman apparently slayed too. And Maxi too. Everybody else did either great or good except for Angie and Gregorio, who did bad. This will probably cost you the win, Angie, I hope. Ladies, when I call your name, please step forward. Ludmila, Jade, Violetta Castillo, Gregorio, Maxi, Broadway, Diego, and Camila. Ladies, you are safe. And safe is not a word that should make you feel comfortable in this competition. Now leave my stage. Matthias, Olga, amazing performance as always. Roxy, you always surprise us. And Angie, you were flat out the best this week. But girl, your runway is the worst down. Come on, girl. You gotta get it together with them runways or you won't get a win. However, one person shined beyond. Herman, congratulations, you are the winner of today's challenge. I can't with this. Why did Herman win? Herman didn't do that well. How did Herman win? Like, I get why Angie wouldn't win because of her runway, but like, come on. It should have been between Olga and Matthias. Come on, production riggery. Come on. Esmeralda, Leon, Tomas, Nati. I am tired of seeing you here week after week after week. Natalia, what did I warn you? There won't be another chance for you today. I'm sorry, my dear, but you're up for elimination. Esmeralda, Leon, you two, better than anybody, know how stressful it is to lip sync for your life. So count your lucky stars that tonight you are safe. Tomas, that means you will be joining Nati in the bottom two lip sync. Okay, they lip sync to Call Me Maybe. Nati had a great lip sync. Tommy had a good lip sync. Is Nati going to be the lip sync assassin of the season and be in the bottom always, but like dominate? Let's see. Natalia, you touched me with your lip sync, but I am afraid I have given you far too many chances. Queens like Francesca never got a second chance. You got a third, a fourth, and a fifth. But now it's over. Sashay away. Tomas, you are safe. This is so rigged. Why is this episode so rigged? Tomas should have gone home. So 7 individual people have won because there was one double win. I think it's time for somebody to win their second challenge. Don't you guys think? However, this is not all, because I fear I have eliminated one of my queens way too soon. Is it going to be Priscilla? Is it going to be Ramasho? Is it going to be Francesca? Or is it going to be Natalia? I have decided to give yet another chance to Nati because she did slay in the lip sync and I fear I might have been too harsh. Nati, you are back in the race, baby. Just look at Nati's track record, like low, eliminated, but she's gonna be back. And for this week's mini challenge, Roxy and Diego won. And for this week's maxi challenge, the queens will participate in a parody trailer about albums. Esmeralda, Jade, Herman, Matthias, and Gregorio slayed. I would say obviously for everybody except that bitch in the middle. Everybody except for that bitch in the middle, you know who you are. That bitch in between Jade and Matthias, yeah, you know who you are. I doubt you slayed. Production favorite. Boo. Everybody else did good except for Camila, Leon, and Broadway, who flopped. And for the runway category is Fascinator. And are you going to be surprised when I tell you that the people that fascinated the most are Jade and Matthias yet again? Can Jade win? Can Jade win this week? One win already slipped through her fingers. Let's see if this one is gonna go similar. But pretty much everybody did great or good except for Angie, who had a very bad runway. Very, very bad runway. Are we surprised? No. Matthias, Jade, Esmeralda, Herman. You are representing hard for Casa Castillo. You are some of my top queens. Keep up the good work. All of you did impeccable today. You are safe. You may leave the stage.
Igual, gracias por eso, amada.
Gregorio, congratulations! You're the winner of this week's challenge. They know that Jade deserved that win. They know that Jade had it in the bag, but at least Gregorio won. Rigamorse. You know Jade had it in the bag this week. You know she did. A face crack from one of them two might be impending, and you know that's exactly what you want, production. You know that's exactly what you want. How dare you?
¿Qué pensás hacer, loca?
No sé, pero algo quiero hacer. No me puedo quedar con los brazos cruzados, ¿entendés? No puedo pensar nada, así que hazlo vos.
Eso ya lo sé.
Camila, Leon, Maxi, Broadway. It is no surprise where you have been placed this week. Maxi, Camila, you are safe. Which means Leon, Broadway, I'm sorry my dear, but you are up for elimination. Oh, this is gonna be an epic lip sync. Are they planning on keeping Broadway because they didn't make him lip sync against Cami? Oh, but Leon had a great lip sync and Broadway had a good lip sync. Broadway, Shantae, you stay. Leon, sashay away. Oh, how very dare they. Leon won that lip sync fair and square. He won that lip sync. Nachi is intimidated by Matthias. Yes, he has been slaying, but the production doesn't want to give him his flowers. Herman screamed, "I'm from Chicago," to Olga. No, you're not. Matthias and Vilo got into a huge fight with Olga. Gregorio is cheering Diego up. Of course he would. Diego is telling Matthias about that one time someone tried to drown him in the ocean. Okay, Diego, okay. Tomas and Camila are shading Matthias's makeup skills. Excuse you. You cannot come for the mug, okay? Who slayed the runway? Exactly, him. Who didn't slay the runway? Exactly, you two. So, zip it. We have unfairly lost Leon. We're going to miss his beautiful smile. Can't even bring him back now. Can't even bring him back.
Corten, 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 corten. León, esto es un desastre. Vos no podés hacer esto.
Sí puedo, mire.
Sí pudo. León, León, espera, León, León, espera, León, León, espera, León, espera, León.
Oye, pero esto es cualquier cosa.
Can this show finally let someone have their second win? They want Jade to be the Jan so bad. There is going to be no mini challenge this week, so we're going straight to the maxi challenge, which is a comedy routine about draguation. Olga, Matthias, and Diego slayed. Gregorio, Vilo, and Tomas had a great performance. Everybody else did good, except for Roxy, Cami, Broadway, and Nati, who had a bad performance. Honestly, Broadway, Cami, and Nati have been pretty solidly flopping. It's time one of them gets the chop. Honestly, at this point, Nati might make it into top 4. She's gonna be the Roxy Andrews. Roxy cannot be the Roxy Andrews, but Nati can be. And on the runway, the theme is flower. Ludmi, Maxi, and Herman slayed. We also had tons of great and good runways, but Olga and Tomas had a bad runway. Matthias, we've been wanting more vulnerability from you, but tonight, we award your professionalism. Congratulations! You are the first person this season to win 2 challenges. Congratulations. Diego, Olga, Tomas. Great job this week. You are safe. Broadway, Cami, Nati. You're no strangers to bottoming. And Roxy, I am disappointed to see you here again. Nati, Broadway, you are safe. Which means Roxy, Cami, I'm sorry my dears, but you're up for elimination. Okay, Cami had a great lip sync and Roxy had a good lip sync. Roxy, not to be confused with Roxy Andrews. Shantae, you stay. Camila, your run on the show was very unmemorable and very floppy. Goodbye. Violetta lashes out irrationally at Roxy. Vito's having an identity crisis. She's going crazy, fighting with herself. Oh, this is so great. This is so great. Olga's telling Esmeralda to go back to Party City where she belongs. And Nati is intimidated by Diego. Of course, as she should be. She should be intimidated by everybody. How is Nati still here? And Matias now has 2 wins, 3 high placements, the best track record. Is Matias gonna take this in the bag? Is Matias about to take this race in the bag? That's gonna be everything. But Olga is breathing down his neck, so he better beware.
¿Por qué no se va usted también, eh?
Bueno,
¡Fuera! ¡Fuera!
pero Olga, escúcheme una cosa. ¡Fuera! Es una broma que tenemos acá con Olga.
Nominee challenge next week too. And for the maxi challenge, the queens will bring it to the runway. The category is flower. Again, we can't have enough flowers. Germán, they keep telling me Germán slayed. I don't believe you. So Germán, Nati, Esmeralda, Gregorio, Ludmi did great. Everybody else did good except that Olga and Angie had a bad performance and Tomas and Roxy flopped. Roxy has been flopping. This is gonna be her 3rd bottom. Natalia, your run on the show has been, well, let's say memorable. But you never cease surprising us. Congratulations, you're the winner of today's challenge. So proud of you, Nati.
Natalia, vos sos una desubicada. Si te pensás que sos una estrella, amiga, estás confundida.
Tranquilízate un poco, no le hables así.
Escúchame, por primera vez en mi vida, yo creo que puedo defenderme solita.
Solita. Bueno, ¿qué? ¿Vamos a ensayar o vamos a seguir perdiendo el tiempo?
Claro, genial. Entonces ahora la culpa es toda de Ludmila, ¿no?
Ya van a necesitar una estrella y me van a llamar.
Ludmila, Esmeralda, Gregorio, good job this week. You are safe, but high safe, not like the others that are just safe.
Sorry, Nat. Pero la estrella acá soy yo.
¡No! ¡Nati!
Angie, Roxy, Olga, Tomas, this wasn't your week. Olga, I know you can do better. You are safe. Roxy, you are a force to be reckoned with. And it's time you wake up, or you might lose your place in this competition. I'm sorry, my dear, but you're up for elimination. Angie, this is your first time in the bottom. But you really need to work on those runways. Angie, you are safe. Tomas, you are in the bottom again. Okay, Roxy had a good lip sync and Tomas had a bad lip sync. Of course that Roxy's gonna do good. Roxy, not to be confused with Roxy Andrews, Thick and Juicy. Shantae, you stay. Tomas, I've been sick and tired of you bottoming so hard. Sashay away. Ludmila is sick of hearing Maxi whine about everything. Maxi, at this point in the competition, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Fuiste vos, ¿no? ¿La que le tiró la skate a Nati?
¿Pero qué te pasa?
Sí, porque te querés quedar con su lugar, estoy seguro que fuiste vos.
Pará, tranquilízate un poco.
A mí no me falta ese respeto.
¿Pero de qué respeto me estás hablando vos, Ludmila?
This is an insane track record. This is the most insane track record. I can't. Watch Nati win the season. Nati is so winning the season. She's taking it. She's taking it. I don't care. She's taking it. And Roxy went from a winner to a flop. Imagine they make Vilu and Roxy lip sync against each other. Please do that. Please do that. And for this week's mini challenge, the queens will do a quiz about past Drag Race contestants, and Matthias won the mini challenge. And for this week's maxi challenge, the queens will participate in a dance number about Drag Race. Maxi heard me what I said last time in Untucked, so now he actually slayed the challenge. Lots of people did great. Lots of people did good. Guess who did bad? Production favorite, Germán. That's right. And Esmeralda flopped. And surprisingly, Maxi slayed a dance challenge. Broadway actually didn't slay it. How did Broadway not slay a dance challenge? And on the runway, the category is gay icon, and apparently this is Maxi's week, because even though lots of people had a great runway, Maxi had the best of the great. Lots of people had good, but only Angie had a bad runway. Only Angie. A bad week for Jade to have just a good runway, because she could have potentially overthrown Maxi had he flopped on the runway, and had she slayed. Also, our bottom queens appear to have had a great runway, so we'll see. Maxi, congratulations for finally waking up in the competition. This was your week down. Congratulations, you're a winner, baby. Violetta, Diego, Ludmila, Gregorio. Unsurprisingly, you are the top girls this week, but Maxi just blew it out of the park. What can I say? You're safe, ladies. But again, high safe. Nati, Roxy, how many times am I going to be seeing you guys in the bottom? How many times? Germán, Esmeralda, you have been doing surprisingly well thus far. So naturally, Roxy, Nati, you are safe. Herman, Esmeralda, it's time for you to be put in the bottom because you should never relax in this competition. Herman and Esmeralda both flopped the lip sync. Let's go for double sachet. Herman Castillo, this wasn't your best week. Neither the lip sync nor the look, especially not the challenge. But you've had your moments before. This is your first time in the bottom, so I will be graceful. Shantae, you stay. Esmeralda, you should have taken notes from your last terrible lip sync. I can't tolerate more. Sashay away. Jade and Nati are sharing wigs. Olga also tries on Matthias' wig. The girls are being very friendly this week. Angie, get this, you guys. Get this. Of all people in this competition, Angie is telling Maxi that she thinks his placement doesn't represent how she actually did. Excuse you. Maxi slayed the most all throughout. What do you mean, Miss Terrible Runways? What do you mean, Miss Coaster? Why are you being so bitter? Why are you being a bitter bitch, Angie? Oh, that's a very bad look. A very bad look. So apparently Maxi and Vilu are now friends. Maxi and Ludmi are now enemies. Ludmi and Diego are now enemies. Vilu and Diego are an alliance. Ooh. Gregorio and Angie are enemies as they should.
No, de verdad que no, pero Gregorio
Ese Spirit.
Gregorio and Jade are in an alliance. Ooh. Vilu and Matthias are enemies. Vilu and Roxy are enemies. Olga and Jade are enemies.
Tendrías que hacerme una selección de todos mis abritos y después te digo cuál me gusta más.
¿Sabe qué? ¿Por qué no se hace la selección usted solita? Pues yo tengo que ir a preparar mi propio bolso, ¿eh?
Ay, Olita, ni que fuera tanto lío poner un plumero en el bolsito.
Olga and Matthias are enemies.
¿Sabías que mi cumpleaños hoy?
¿Cuántos años cumple?
27.
Ese es 5.
And Jade and Angie are enemies, of course.
¿Usted está bien? Porque la veo muy despierta últimamente.
Graciosa.
Angie's also enemies with Matthias.
Si vos tuviste la culpa, loca.
Loca yo. Loco vos que no miras por dónde andas.
Ay, ¿qué estabas haciendo ahí en el piso? ¿Me puedes explicar?
Estaba atando los cordones.
Mira, si te vas a atar los cordones, hacelo de un costado, no en el medio, molestando a todos los que estamos corriendo, ¿entendés? Desubicada, desquitada, loca.
¡Desubicados!
Angie's enemies with everybody, but Matthias is also enemies with Herman. Jade being totally robbed of being high here. Honestly, they're like jealous. The production is jealous. Like, Mamoru is jealous because tell me who has a more lethal face card this season other than Jade. Like, just tell me. Like, no one. Well, Diego. Diego definitely. But like, in a different way, you know, in a different way. And for this week's mini challenge, the queens will make a quick look about past Drag Race contestants. Broadway won the mini challenge, and he will also get a huge advantage for the Maxi as well. And his advantage is actually pretty juicy because he will get to choose on which team he goes for an 80s inspired film named Social Media. What? 80s inspired film named Social Media. And he picked a pretty decent team for himself. He has Gregorio, Roxy, Matthias, and Nati. Team 2 is so the drama. Team 2 we have Herman, Jade, Angie, and Vilu. Oh, uh-oh.
¿Perdón? ¿Qué haces espiando a mi papá?
Pero no seas ridícula, chiquita. Que voy a estar espiando. Simplemente que escuché ruidos y quería saber qué era lo que pasaba.
Ruido.
No discutan. Estamos leyendo acá, estoy leyendo, no.
Estoy cansada, Germán. ¿No te das cuenta que esta chiquita todo el tiempo está inventando cosas para ensuciarme a mí y separarme de vos? Yo no puedo así. No puedo. Yo estoy acá para ser feliz y casarme. Punto.
See, this is a continuous attempt to break down Jade's psyche. They want her to be Jan so bad. They're putting her in a team with her ops where she cannot function properly, yet she has been ever so cordial with everybody. She hasn't gotten a single fight this season. Notice how she hasn't. But they just want to break down her psyche by putting her on this team. But I'm kind of living for the drama. And that leaves team 3 of Olga, Ludmi, Maxi, and Diego. Roxy, Angie, and Jade slayed the challenge. Of course, the girls gotta carry Herman, of course. We also had some great and good performances, but we had a bad performance coming from Maxi. If they're judged in teams, this might put some of our favorite people in jeopardy, so they better not be judged in teams. But for the runway, the category is nighttime is the right time, yet again, because we're running out of runway categories. So Matthias and Vilu slay. Another roll of great and good runways. Why is Angie having a great runway again? I am so shocked. But notice how team 2 is slaying, so never mind. Actually do judge them in teams because team 2 is slaying. See how Angie decided to step up her game just now that she is paired up with Jade in a group? So y'all better make it to the top as a team. But yeah, lots of people did great or good, except for Olga. She's the one that did bad. Ladies, you performed in groups. So you will be judged as such. Jade, Angie, Ludmila, Violetta, Germán. You are all safe. Gregorio, Broadway, brilliant job. Matthias, you never failed to impress us, but when are we going to see that vulnerability? Nati, Roxy, you two are the comeback queens this week, but only one of you can be the winner. Roxy, congratulations, you're a winner, baby. This unfortunately means that Maxi, Olga, and Diego, you are in danger of elimination. Maxi, last week was your time to shine, and tonight you've disappointed me. I'm sorry, my dear, but you're up for elimination. Diego, you are the trade of the season. You are safe. Olga, not a bad performance, just a terrible runway. I'm sorry, my dear, but you'll be up for elimination. Olga had a good lip sync and Maxi had a bad lip sync. OMG, please save Olga. Please save Olga. Please, 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 please. Don't be rigged. Olga, Shantae, you stay. Maxi, my queen, sashay away. Germán does a reveal, showing that if he had to lip sync for his life, he was ready to do so. And Ludmi doesn't know what that has to do with anything. So true, Ludmi, so true. Diego farted next to Angie, and Gregorio wanted to slap her, but he didn't want to get ugly. Oh, Gregorio being ever so congenial. Angie is pushing it. She really is pushing it.
¿No fuiste vos, Angie? ¿No fuiste vos la que dijo que es un despropósito la forma en que yo arme los grupos?
This season is so dramatic. So dramatic. The way they robbed Jade, they were just like, nah. The way they would have gotten like 5 or 6 face cracks out of her at this point, like, why? Why do you have to torture my mother like this? Why does every show has to torture Jade like that? Why? Just why?
Jade, pará. No podés tirar todo por la borda, Jade.
Ay, no me hables de bordar, que me haces acordar al vestido de compromiso.
Pará, Jade, pará. Después de tanto esfuerzo tenés que aguantar un poquito más. Pero veníamos tan cerca, Jade. Veníamos tan cerca, vos.
She should have had 2 wins at this point. I don't care. Should have had 2 wins at this point. Clearly, Maxi didn't use his. And for this week's mini challenge, Roxy and Angie who won. And this week, the queens will participate in a parody commercial about sex. Gregorio did the best. Great. Vilu, the only child in here, did the second best. Cancel the show immediately. Of course, Jade, Matthias, and Ludmila also had great performances, obviously. But are they going to put Jade on top? Where's her rightful place? I don't know. Let's hope. Nati and Roxy had a bad performance like pretty much every week, so I'm not even worried that Nati's gonna go home. And on the runway, the theme is pageant. Ooh, but Nati might have redeemed herself. Ludmi and Nati slayed. Gregorio, Vilu, and Jade had a great runway. That is the ultimate top 3 of the week. Please give them their flowers. I'm surprised that Germán is doing subpar in this challenge, but everybody else had a good runway. Ladies, when I call your name, please step forward. Jade, Matthias, Angie, Olga, Germán, Diego. You are all safe. You may leave the stage. Oh, yet another Jade face crack. This was her time to be in top 3, undeniably. But she keeps getting robbed. Instead, you know who is the winner of the sex challenge? The only child in this group won. I canceled the show immediately. Burn it to the ground. Well, Ludwig Gregorio also slayed this week. I'm sorry, Jade should have been here too. They had place for her to be in the top. She should have been here too. Nati, this wasn't your best, but it wasn't your worst week. You are safe. Which means Broadway, Roxy, I'm sorry my dears, but you're up for elimination. Nati is safe again, I'm telling you. Nati for the win. Broadway had a great lip sync, Roxy had a good lip sync. Is it time for Vilu to finally move on from her second persona? Broadway, Shantae, you stay. Roxy, not to be confused with Roxy Andrews Thick and Juicy. We will miss you. But something tells me you won't be gone because Vilu is still in the competition, but I think it's time for you to sashay away. Olga calls Nati out for having a phone. Some more production favoritism over Nati. Oh wow. Olga and Jade plan to jump on Broadway. This sounds oddly charged and motivated. Ladies, no. This is slanderous against my 2 mothers. They would never. And Nati's choose from Angie. Way to go, girl. You know, this stealer should experience being stolen from. So, and for today's mini challenge, Ludmi and Jade both won the mini challenge. Ooh, and for the maxi challenge, it's time for the Rusical, which will be all about RuPaul's music career. Diego and Gregorio slayed the challenge. Like father, like son, we love to see it. Everybody else did either great or good, except for Germán, who flopped. Herman, it's your time to leave. Of course you're gonna leave before Nati because Nati is iconic, she can't leave. But on the runway the theme is Divalicious. Herman might have saved himself from the bottom, maybe, if he wasn't flopping so hard. Jade also had a great runway, everybody else did good, except for Broadway who had a bad runway, and this is solely Gregorio's week. Come on, it was his week 2 weeks in a row. If you rob him now, it's gonna be terrible. You can't rob him now. Gregorio, Diego, Matias, as always, you've dominated this week too. In fact, you did so well that I want not one, but 2 winners. Diego, Gregorio, you are both the winners, my darlings. Gregorio and Diego winning together like father and son. Oh. Nati, how long will you continue to be safe? We can't pass the opportunity to have a Hermanji lip sync for the bottom too, so Nati, you're safe. Don't worry, you're safe. Herman, Angie, let's see how great you perform when one of you gotta send the other home. Angie had a good lip sync and Herman flopped. Angie, Shantae, you stay. Herman, I am so happy to say this, sashay away. You didn't deserve your win, Herman. Angie and Vilu learned their lip sync words together, so she's team Angie, not team her dad. Interesting. Diego hides in a pillow during Angie and Broadway's fight. Why is Angie kind of the villain of the season? I'm noticing Angie's been fighting with everybody lately, and you know what? This just shows that the simulator knows what the tea is. It's Angie who's the problem. I mean, of course, Jade wanted to slap Nati, but notice how she didn't do it because she didn't want to get ugly, so yeah. Jade is a better person than Angie, 1000%. OMG, Olga stole Jade's cocktail! There's always time for a cocktail. Nati has the most iconic track record. It's totally between her and Matias at this point. And Herman is finally gone. Finally gone. And for the next mini challenge, Diego won the mini challenge. And for the maxi challenge, it's a design challenge and the queens will do outfits with plans. Lumi had a great performance because she's amazing. Everybody else did good, except for Nati and Diego who flopped. You know, Diego just won the mini challenge. And you know, Nati always dodges the bottom somehow. But there'll be no runway because this is the runway. Also, surprisingly, Angie has flopped every runway thus far, but this time she did good. Okay. Ludmila, this week, you shined the brightest. You are safe. Gregorio, great job too, you're also safe. Which means, Angie, because we expected you to flop, and you actually did good. You didn't slay like Ludmilla, but you did good. We're going to rate you on a curve, and congratulations, Angie, you are the winner of this week's challenge. Because we want to force the comeback queen storyline on you from being in the bottom now a win, and because we honestly expected you to come back in something worse than Lala's bags. Broadway, I'm sorry you have to be low, but somebody has to be low, so you're low, but it's fine, you're not in the bottom, you're safe. Nati, for the first time ever, you're not going to be low. You are not safe. I'm sorry, my dear, but you're up for elimination. And Diego, what fall from grace? Oh no, Nati tripped. Diego had a great lip sync and Nati flopped. Is this the end of Nati? Nati was my winner. Diego, Shantae, you stay. Natalia, you've had the most iconic run on the show. I'm sure you become everybody's favorite queen, and you are my winner. But if I keep you till the end, production's gonna complain, blah blah blah. But for now, sashay away. And this time I can't bring you back even though I want to. Broadway saying that he has a better track record than Diego. Oh, we're gonna check that. But I'm pretty sure Diego has a better track record than him. Diego and Vito talking a lot, and you're saying that they're dating. Vito! Leon left, Fran left, and now you're going back to Diego because you're super hot. You wanna be such a bad boy. I can't blame you. We have a surprising turn of events. Gregorio and Matias are now tied. Ludmilla was so robbed. And also, Diego does have a better track record than you, Broadway, so don't be running your mouth, okay? And for this week's mini challenge, the queens will do wigs with a partner. And of course, who else to team up but Jade and Matias? And of course, who else to win but Jade and Matias? I know I've been saying it before, but please, can this finally be the time Jade goes on the up and up? Please. And for this week's maxi challenge, it's time for the snatch game. Ludmilla will do Kourtney Kardashian. Gregorio will do Metini Kingpayon. I don't know who that is, but good for you, Gregorio. Good for you. Angie will do Donald Trump. Matias will do Kris Jenner, so he can riff off of Ludmilla over here. Vilu will do Carol Channing. Olga will do Matt Lucas. Jade will do Beyonce. because they're both the ultimate divas, they're both the ultimate divas. Now, Beyonce is very tricky on Snatch Game, but if she manages to revert the Beyonce curse, that might actually be worthy of the win over here. Broadway will do Macaulay Culkin, and Diego will do Gwyneth Paltrow. Matthias slayed. Jade, Ludmi, Olga, and Gregorio had a great performance. C, Jade reverted the Beyonce curse. Vilo and Diego had a good performance. Angie had a bad performance, and Broadway flop. It's time for one of you to go. And on the runway, the theme is Power of Love. And guess who slayed? Jade and Vilo. Oh, it's definitely time. Imagine Jade wins the Snatch Game. That would be so correct. But Matthias also had a great runway. He might also win. Diego and Broadway had a great runway. This might help Broadway against someone who only had a good runway, which I don't get how Angie had a good runway, but whatever. Ladies, when I call your name, please step forward. Ludmila, Jade, Diego, you are safe. Jade had the second best Snatch Game and the best runway, and she's not in the top 3. You cannot tell me that this is not snubbery and riggery just to break down her psyche and to get another face crack to the face crack Hall of Fame. Oh, robbed queen to the max. Matthias better win this one. Olga, Gregorio, amazing job as always. You are safe. Matthias, your Kris Jenner was our favorite momager. Congratulations, you're the winner of this week's challenge. Violetta, your work today was not satisfactory. You are safe. Broadway, your Macaulay Culkin left us wishing we were home alone. Angie, I don't even remember who you did, honestly, but like, you're a total flop. Angie had a great lip sync. Broadway had a good lip sync only. Angie Carrara. Shantae, you stay. Broadway, sashay away. Jade starts crying after Vilo attacked her.
Me vas a negar que nunca me diste una oportunidad. Encima me decís que te exorcizo y no sé cuántas cosas más.
Extorsiona, Jade.
¿Ves que no puedo ser natural? No puedo ser fresca delante tuyo porque estás todo el tiempo corrigiéndome. Qué feo que es eso. Yo soy hermosa y vos sos inteligente. Bueno, perfecto. ¿Tengo la culpa acaso? ¿Tengo la culpa? No.
They did it. They've broken down Jade. They did it. They finally broke her down. And how dare you, Miss Thing? How dare you attack her when you was in the bottom? Your ass was about to lip sync. Your ass was about to be sent home. They have destroyed her psyche. This is just too fucking much. Olga, Jade, and Diego are talking a lot and they're bonding a lot. I love that Diego and Olga are comforting mother in this terrible moment. And later, Jade and Olga had an emotional heart-to-heart because of how terrible this competition has been treating her. Well, sometimes it's better to be the official robbed queen than the winner. Ludmila and Angie are sharing personal memories to each other. Angie wanted to be important so bad. She wanted trauma them so bad. Like, shut up, Angie. Nobody cares. At least Matthias is now in the lead, and if someone wins, it's gonna be him, probably because Natia's now gone. She was his only competition, with the most iconic track record. Let's not sleep on Gregorio too. Maybe we've been sleeping on Gregorio too much. And I think at this point in the competition, Angie, at this point in the top 8, if you look around, you are the only one that doesn't belong here, and you need to go home.
Ahora somos 8, después vamos a hacer 4, después 2, y entre esos 2 va a estar Ludmila.
There will be no mini challenge this time, and for the maxi challenge, the queens will improvise in a pageant. The Miss Loose Jaw pageant. Obviously, Matthias, Jade, and Gregorio had a great performance. At this point, it doesn't matter how great Mother does because they'll rob her anyway. At least we know she did great. At least we can recognize that. Everybody else did good except for Ludmi, who did bad. How can Ludmi do bad?
Pero Antonia, no podemos poner en el mismo escalón a los mediocres y a los talentosos. No se puede.
Perdón, ¿qué querés decir? ¿Que te preocupa que los que son talentosos se igualen a vos, que no lo sos tanto? Chicos, vamos a hacer todo lo posible para que no se note tu falta de talento.
But on the runway, the category is VAM. Matthias and Gregorio slayed. Ludmi redeemed herself. Everybody else did good except for Diego, who did bad. If this is not enough to get Ludmi out of the bottom, at least she redeemed herself. And at least she's going to lip sync for her motherfucking life. The way we all know she can. Ladies, when I call your name, please step forward. Ludmila, Jade, Matthias, Gregorio, Diego, Violetta. You represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Which means Andrew and Olga, you can kiki in Untucked. Jade, congratulations! You are the winner of this week's challenge! OMG, I've been waiting to say that for so long. Matthias, Gregorio, great job as always. You are safe. Ludmila, you are one of the strongest competitors, but you were flat out the worst this challenge. Although, like always, you redeemed yourself on the runway. Ludmila, you are safe. Violetta, Diego, I'm sorry, my dears, but you're gonna be in the bottom. Diego flopped! I think he literally just flopped because he didn't want Vilu to leave the competition. Violetta Castillo. Shantae, you stay. Diego, it pains me to say this. Sashay away. We're gonna miss you so much. Jade accuses Olga of being the judge's favorite, and Ludmi starts crying after Matthias attacked her. Why would he attack her? Well, would you look at that? Mother finally has a win. I just love this top 3. This top 3. Please make this the top 3 of the competition, please. If this is not top 3 of the competition, it's rigged. Top 7. A little low placement for Ludmi there, but we keep going. And for the mini challenge, it's finally time for the library to be open. First up, Matthias. And of course, to Gregorio, his biggest competition. I envy people who have never met you. Next is Gregorio. He says to Angie.
Angie.
Girl, you're so skinny. You got people in Somalia sending you food. And then he says to Jade. Hot couture. More like hot glue. Why is Gregorio like so on point with his reads? I'm rooting for you, Gregorio, for this. I'm so rooting for you. Next is Jade. She says to Ludmi, this is what a randomized sim would look like in real life. No! Okay, maybe sometimes. And then she looks at Gregorio and she's like, never mind. Okay. Next is Olga. She says to Angie, we can tell that you're from the ball scene. I mean, your lashes love voguing. Notice how nobody has read Olga? They are afraid. The girls are afraid. Then she says to Ludmi, rot it. Then she says to Vilu, as Lady Gaga once said, there can be 100 people in the room and 99 have no idea who you are. Vilu, the most popular, excuse you, the titular character, excuse you. Next is Vilu, who says to Angie, everyone thinks you're pretty. I do think you're pretty. I think you have a beautiful face for radio. And then she says to Jade, I am returning your nose. I found it in my business. Why is this so accurate? Vilu's my winner. I think Olga might win this, but Vilu is my winner. I didn't expect this coming from Vilu. See, she's secretly sassy.
Porque si yo digo que la chiquita va al estudio, se pudre.
¿Cómo que Violetta va al estudio?
Ludmila, who is the only person who has the nerve to read Olga. Your ass must be pretty jealous of all the shit that comes out of your mouth. Well, she might win the reading challenge, so. And the winner is... Angie and Matthias both have won the challenge. Angie's reads were literally so bad, but whatever. Okay, I thought Olga would win just because she got 3 reads, but I think Vilu was robbed here. And for the maxi challenge, they're going to roast about sex again. They're talking about sex again. Olga and Matthias slayed the challenge. Gregorio and Ludmi had a great performance and everybody else did good, but that doesn't matter anymore. There's only 7 of us. Everybody is in danger. My girl's in danger. Are they going to eliminate her right after they gave her the win? Oh no. Can't even bring her back if they do it. And on the runway, category is pink, but oh, look who slayed the runway. Nobody else but Mother.
Love pink.
I'm surprised Ludmi didn't slay too, but she also did great. Vilu had a good runway, but still not so good comparatively. And Angie had a bad runway. Ludmila, you are safe. Matthias, Olga, Gregorio, your roasts were rivetingly spicy, but only one can win. So, Olga, congratulations, you're the winner of today's challenge. Jade, it hurts me so much to see you here, but you won last week, and this week your runway was the best, so you are safe. It's fine. You've made it in the top 6, which means Vilu, Angie, you two will have to lip sync. Vilu had a great lip sync, Angie had a good lip sync. Violetta Castillo, Shantae, you stay. Angie Carrara, I am so happy to be finally parting with you. Violetta says Ludmila affected their performance and Olga defends Ludmila. Girl, just own up to flopping.
¿Fuiste vos? ¿Vos rompiste mi inscripción?
¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? Que me rompí la inscripción, ahora no puedo entrar, León.
Ay, Vilu, si te arrepentiste de entrar y vos rompiste tu propia inscripción, no me eches la culpa a mí, ¿sí?
Fue ella, León, ¿te das cuenta lo que es?
Con mi pelo no te metes.
Vos te metiste conmigo, Ludmila, y te fuiste demasiado lejos, ¿no te das cuenta? Sos mala.
And it's honestly kind of embarrassing because, yeah, it's a sex challenge and she's the only kid, but she also won last time. You could have won this time too, but she didn't. Olga's saying that she has a better track record than Matthias. We're gonna check that again. Violetta apologized to Jade, but Jade doesn't believe it. As you should, Queen. Don't trust her.
Así que estuviste hablándole mal de mí a tu papá.
¿Te lo contó él?
Sí, Violeta, por supuesto, tu papá me cuenta todo. Y no pongas esa carita de pobrecita.
Violetta is getting annoyed by the way of how Jade is drinking. Jade can't be in the finale without Matthias. Oh, we're having a cute sibling moment. Maybe this is finally the vulnerability that the judges are looking for from Matthias.
Bueno, está bien. Entonces podés quedarte, pero solo porque me gusta estar en paz con mi hermanito.
Solo juntos.
Sí.
Vamos a lograr nuestro objetivo.
Excelente.
And y'all better be in the top 3 together. My top 3, Jade, Matthias, and Gregorio. If y'all kick Jade out, I swear. Although, honestly, this is like the most perfect top 6. Like, I don't want this top 6 to end. This top 6 is so perfect. It's going to hurt no matter who leaves. Matthias, again, best track record of everybody. At this point in time, Vilu has the worst. And Olga does have a worse track record than Matthias. So why are you running your mouth, Olga? Especially now when Matthias finally showed the vulnerability that the judges are looking for. This week, there will be no mini challenge. And the maxi challenge is going to be a parody again. Parody trailer. Why are y'all so obsessed with sex? Like, calm down. Of course, Michelle and Olga slayed. They say it every week. Because it's always the same challenge that is about sex. And even though Vilu won that first one, that was the exact same challenge as this one, she only did good, which is not that good, because everybody else did great. Are they going to do a Ludmi and Vilu bottom because of their drama and Untucked? Matthias had a great runway, everybody else had a good runway, and Olga had a bad runway, which means Matthias might be a shoot for the win. Ludmila, you were amazing this week. You are safe. Olga, Matthias, you dominated this week's challenge, but Olga, the runway wasn't your friend this time. You are both safe. Which means, Jade, congratulations, you are the winner of this week's challenge.
Artista soy yo, artista del amor, que me voy a comprometer con Germán.
Which means, Gregorio, Violetta, I am sorry my dears, but you are up for elimination. Gregorio had a good lip sync and Vilu flopped. What do you mean you flopped? Break Free by Ariana Grande. Gregorio, Shantae, you stay. Violetta, sashay away. Ludmila and Olga plan to jump on Jade now that she won this challenge. Olga's saying that she has a better track record than Jade. She might. I will check that. But last time you were lying. Ludmila is then cheering Gregorio up.
Gregorio, ¿no me va a decir nada?
Ludmila. Le dije que tenemos que hablar en la oficina. Espéreme ahí. Camina, rápido. Yo no tengo tiempo. Y ustedes se van. Y ustedes se van. Y ustedes se van para afuera. No tengo nadie. Estoy solo. Estoy solo. No.
My mother going into top 5 with 2 wins. The way this season has had a million acting challenges. We're in the top 5 and it's ever so dramatic. And this time Olga actually might be right. Yeah, she does have a better track record than Jade. But like, okay, when you... Don't be coming from my mother, okay? She was robbed of multiple wins, okay? And you were in the bottom 2 and she wasn't. The danger here, though, is that coming into the top 5, Jade does have the worst track record. Matthias better win it for her anyway. And for this week's mini challenge, it's time for the iconic puppets. And who won? None other than Matthias, who might be the winner of this whole thing.
Ay, gracias, gracias, te agradezco, reconozcas mi brillantez, mi mente superior.
And it's finally time for the makeover, where the queens will make ordinary people their drag sister. And who else would have a great performance here? Gregorio and Jade, obviously. Lumi, Matthias, and Olga did good here, so nobody flopped. But there's not gonna be a runway, because this was the runway, the makeover was the runway, so it's kinda scary for y'all, Jade, your amazing perseverance in this competition has paid off. Congratulations, you're the winner of today's challenge. Gregorio, great job. You are safe. Matthias, Ludmila, Olga. None of you frequented the bottom placements this season. You were power tops, but it's time for 2 of you to lip sync for their lives. Matthias, you are safe. Which means Ludmi, Olga, I'm sorry my dears, but you're up for elimination. Ludmi slayed, but Olga also had a great lip sync. It's very much a toss-up right now. It's very much a toss-up. Ludmila, Shantae, you stay. Olga, sashay away. Matthias, Ludmi, and Gregorio are bonding, okay. Then Matthias and Jade are yelling at Gregorio. You were just bonding with him. Why y'all yelling at him now? After that, Matthias and Gregorio start yelling at Jade.
Por lo menos una bien. mirá lo que haces. ¿No te das cuenta que no haces nada, absolutamente nada bien?
Matías.
No, Matías, no. Contrataste este detective y yo pensé que venía uno grandote, uno con experiencia. Me trajiste este enano que no sabe absolutamente nada y encima nos cobra un dineral.
Matías is going through it this episode. He did not take well his first low placement. He is not used to bottoming in this competition. So now in the top 4, we have 2 from the first premiere and 2 from the second premiere. Very nice. Matías continues to carry the highest track record, followed by Gregorio. Also, Jade and Matías have never been in the bottom 2. Both of them have only 1 low placement. And guess who, out of this top 4, has 3 wins? Well, none other than the Power Top siblings, of course. They both have 3 wins each. And honestly, they should have had even more. This is it, you guys. One final queen will leave, and the others move on to the finale. And the mini challenge, Jade won that one, and not only did she win that, but you will also get a small advantage for the maxi challenge. And today's challenge is the ball. The themes are executive realness, antique, and flowers, because we haven't had enough of the last 2 times we did flowers on the runway this season, so let's do it again. Ludmilla and Jade had a great performance, of course. Matías had a good performance, but Gregorio flopped. Jade, brilliant job as always. You are the first contestant to make it into the top 3. Congratulations, you are safe. Ludmilla, people underestimated you. They thought you might be too young for this competition, but you prove each and every one of them wrong. Congratulations, you're the winner of this week's challenge. Matías, Gregorio, I'm sorry, my dears, but you're up for elimination. This is so dramatic, having the front runners compete against each other to go into the top 3. OMG, 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 OMG. This is so dramatic. Can you do a double Shantae? And they both had a great performance. They both had a great lip sync. This is so scary. Matías, Shantae, you stay. Gregorio, sashay away. Oh, this is so sad. But okay, a lot of winners actually lip-synced right before the finale. A lot of them did. That's a common arc. Then in Untucked, Jade questions the point of yelling between the argument of Matías and Ludmilla. They're fighting. The girls are fighting. Matías is probably thinking how he's been beefing with Gregorio this whole time because they were direct competitors. But now that he's gone, he probably is accusing Ludmilla that she shouldn't have been here and it should have been Gregorio. But I think this is honestly just as perfect of a top 3. And yes, Matías then again says that Ludmilla is being favored by the judges. He's just sad that Gregorio left. Matías has the best track record, but Jade has never been in the bottom. At this point, it might be clear that it won't be Ludmilla. Look at this top 3! This top 3 is so slay. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better season. Let's go into that top 3. Well, I think first we need to have a reunion, actually. Let's have a reunion. And now the library is going to be open for the eliminated queens who didn't get to experience it. First up, Diego. He's going to be reading Francesca. As if it wasn't enough going back to Vilu. That she is so stupid that she studied for her COVID test. Then Broadway says to Gregorio, you are so rank, girl, that plants die when you walk past them. Next it's Maxi. He says to Nati, meh. Forgettable, how do you say this to your girlfriend? Maxi! Esmeralda says to Broadway, I love what you've done with your hair. How did you get it to come out of the nostrils like that? Next is Tomas. He says to Nati, you're like a really good pair of socks. Soft, supportive, full of calm. You didn't have to go dirty, Tomas. This is a kids-friendly show. Wow, Tomas. Wow. Next is Cami. She says to Ramasho, at this point, you really should just make like your hairline and recede. OMG, why is this so accurate? Oh, this is lethal. Cami, the library has been closed and you are the winner. Next is Francesca. She says to Diego, someday you go far. I hope you stay there. Next is Ramasho. Says to Gregorio, I bet R. Kelly wouldn't even piss on you. And last but not least, we have Priscilla, who says to Broadway, you're not stupid. You just have bad luck when you're thinking. Priscilla voted for her daughter for Miss Congeniality. Olga voted for Ramasho for Miss Congeniality. Oh, this warms my heart. Their storyline on Drag Race has been epic. Leon voted for Vilu for Miss Congeniality because she didn't snap at him after they broke up because he went for Maxi. But Vilu actually voted for Diego to be Miss Congeniality. And Matías voted for Jade. You know what? I would vote for her for Miss Congeniality too. I would do it too. Then Herman voted for Vilu for Miss Congeniality. Angie voted for Vilu, obviously. Jade voted for Esmeralda. That also makes sense. Ludmilla voted for Gregorio. Tommy voted for Ludmilla. Nati voted for Ludmilla, obviously. Who else would you vote for, Nat? You don't have the cojones to vote for anybody else.
Te falta una cosita para llegar al final. Es bastante importante. El carácter. Te falta carácter, amiga.
Cami voted for Broadway, another couple. Gregorio voted for Ludmila. That makes so much sense. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Esmeralda again voted for Jade. Maxi voted for Vilio. Francesca actually voted for Diego. Maybe she wants to warm things up between them. And guess who voted for Olga? Ramasho. OMG. They're the cutest. They're the cutest. I can't even. And Diego voted for his dad to be Miss Congeniality. Oh, this is also perfect. This is also perfect. I mean, he voted for Ludmila, but you know, Broadway voted for Cami. And the winner of Miss Congeniality is none other than Vilu, the titular girlie. Yay! Even though I wish Ludmi would have won that because she did get plenty of votes there. And guess what? Jade got 2 votes for Miss Congeniality. What about that? How many votes did Angie get again? How many votes did Angie get for Miss Congeniality again? Oh, what was that? Was that 0? Yeah, that's right. Angie got 0 votes for Miss Congeniality. How many votes did Jade get? 2. That's right. And now she's also in the top 3. And guess who isn't? Angie. Guess who also isn't? Herman. And we have the grand finale with our top 3 queens who participate in a music video for RuPaul's newest single. Category is Best Drag. Jade and Matthias slayed. And Ludmi had a great runway, so she didn't do bad. She was still great. My 3 queens. You are such a perfect dream come true top 3 that I can't part with any one of you. You'll be doing a 3-way lip sync for the crown. And it's time for you to lip sync for your lives. Really, because the song is called Death. But no pressure, you won't be actually killed. But it's very important that you say the lip sync. And Jade slayed the lip sync. Jade slayed! Ah, we love it. She slayed. But he's got a bad lip sync. He already beat her in a lip sync once. Now he had a bad lip sync. Do you think he's like doing it on purpose? Do you think he was like, I'm gonna do it on purpose so she wins? Do you think, OMG, do you think he did that?
Mira, la verdad yo no quiero arruinar el mejor momento de tu vida.
¿A ti vos te sentís bien?
No, sí. Yo te quiero, Jade. Y sos mi hermana. Mi hermana del alma y un poco hueca, sí. Sos un poco hueca, pero bueno, mi hermana al fin.
Lumi flopped. Does that mean the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, Argentina's next drag superstar, is Matthias? Congratulations! See, he tried to throw the lip sync because of her, but he won anyway. If it was any other way, I would have been so mad. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want her to win. And when she slayed the lip sync, I got so excited. But Matthias beat her in the lip sync once, fair and square. So it does feel like he did bad on purpose here, just to give her a fighting chance.
Al final resultó ser un tierno tu hermano.
Sí, papo. Al final parece que Mati haría cualquier cosa por mí.
And as we can see here, he achieved quite a lot this season. His track record is already great, but it's not even as good as it could have been because they still robbed him a couple of times. He had 3 wins for the girl group, the stand-up, and the snatch game. So all of those are big challenges, especially the snatch game. Of course, we can't forget his Kris Jenner. That was iconic. I think we can all agree that that was iconic. And the only times he placed below save were at the end of the competition where he still didn't do bad. He still did great, but there were just only 4 and 5 people left, so someone had to be towards the bottom. So overall, a very, very, very well-deserved win. I think he might have also had the most mini challenge wins out of everyone. Yeah, he had 4 mini challenge wins, and then Jade and Diego had 3 each. Also, I completely ignored Gregorio's high streak. He was either high or won every week from episode 9 to episode 17. And then he was high again in episode 19. But he unfortunately couldn't make it to the finale. But that was overall a very hectic, a very dramatic, a very memorable season. And Matthias was a worthy winner. And I would say that Jade also won in her own way.
Ganamos.
¿Qué ganamos?
Ganamos, ¿entendés? Se fue.
¿Somos los campeones?
Ganamos. ¡Ganamos!
Sí, soy la campeona de todo el universo entero.
No, tampoco tanto, Jay, tampoco tanto.
¿No? Bueno, casi.
Memorable lip syncs for being super bad are Priscilla versus Esmeralda, Herman versus Esmeralda, and Roxy versus Francesca. So Esmeralda is like the reverse lip sync assassin. She's like the lip sync victim. We have memorable lip syncs like Matthias versus Gregorio, Ludmi versus Olga, Jade versus Matthias, Broadway versus Roxy, Fran versus Diego, Ramacho versus Leon, Tomas versus Nati, Leon versus Broadway, Roxy versus Cami. Well, it was surely a memorable season. Matthias, congratulations! Congratulations, you've won a cash prize of 100,450 pesos, which is the equivalent of $69.69 before tax. You've also won a lifetime supply of get out of jail free cards, as they might be useful to you. But above all else, you're the first inductee in the Drag Race Simulator Hall of Fame.
Somos